You are about to meet an exceptional young man, incredibly bright, well-spoken, and even as he's going through this interview in incredible pain, which is just part of his everyday activity. And he's here to talk to us about EB. The EB Awareness Week was actually last week, but we're continuing to bring you information. Meet Jonathan Pitre. Great to have you here on the show, Jonathan. And Jonathan's mother, Tina Boileau. Great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you first because to give us a better understanding of EB, I can't even pronounce the actual full name of it, so I'm leaving that with you.
Okay, so Jonathan is 12. And he was born with recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, which epidermolysis means breakdown of the epidermis and the dermis, and bullosa is the name for blisters. It's rare. It's a genetic, lifelong blistering disease that involves the skin and internal organs. So basically the mucous membranes are affected, which the eyes can be, the mouth and the esophagus, which makes it very difficult for them to eat. A lot of times they need to have feeding tubes, and it also affects their growth. Simple everyday movement, walking and playing will cause
Talking, eating, everything can cause crazy discomfort. This was something that you realized a couple of days, the doctor said after the next day, something's not quite.
Yeah, well, you know how the morning after the pediatrician comes, having been a new mom, you look to see the hands, the toes, making sure that you have 5 of each. And when the pediatrician came back, he said that he had a few blisters on his hands, not really knowing why. He figured it'd be good for him to be transferred to CHIO. So and then it took 3 skin biopsies to actually figure out what it was, and it had to be sent to the States because we didn't do this kind of exams here.
It's very rare. We're looking at, I mean, there's still 2,600 cases across Canada, but all kind of with varying degrees with them as well. I had a chance to talk to you. You are exceptional, and your days are incredible. So run us through a little bit, because while you're sitting here, you're completely bandaged up from pretty much head to toe.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. What are your days like?
My days, well, I wake up, look for blisters or bobos, and if there is any, well, patch them up. And then, well, it's kind of a normal breakfast, getting dressed and stuff. And once I get to school, I'll then do the school day. Once I get home, I usually try to relax, rest a little bit, because right after, when my mom gets home, we have to do the 2-hour bath, which is a big process.
I mean, kids just hate getting into the bath as it is for a quick rinse and, 5 minutes in. This is a 2-hour process every day.
Each night, even if we have to do homework, sports, everything. So it's something that zaps your energy right out. So as soon as we're done, we just want to go lay down.
And this is, I asked you, is it soothing a little bit to be in the water to feel, and you said not at all.
No, it's not soothing, because every time you're in there, you're still moving, and you're taking off the bandages, so, all the sores are outside. So once we start putting them back on, because when I get out, of course I'm really cold, because I can't sit, can't put a towel over me, because that will rip skin off. So I have to stand there freezing while my mother does my bandages. And
so they get soaked off. The first 50 minutes of the bath is kind of soaking them off, and then after the bath, it's the reapplication of it.
Exactly. He's roughly in the bath for roughly an hour, and the dressing to actually reapply them would probably be another hour.
Yeah, if not more.
I mean, now you can talk and you can communicate. This must have been incredibly difficult as a young child when he still wasn't talking and expressing what was going on, for you to have to figure out how to do this without causing too much pain.
It was all trial and error. Nobody, because it's so rare, nobody can actually tell you proper guidelines how to just deal with everything. And because there's no treatment or cure, I mean, it's just good skin management. So basically do dressings and try everything, and sometimes you fail because there's no textbook telling you exactly what to do.
Yeah, your friends have said, what can we do? You have a really good support system at school, and I know over the week you tried to raise some money as well. The kids are really good. They ask you some interesting questions.
Yeah, they do. Each year at the beginning, well, I go to each different classes. I do the 7th and 8th grades. And what I do is that I go and talk to them about what is EB and how you can help it, how you can act around people like this, and just all around how to help. So I have good support at school.
They do. Then they ask you really good questions,
Yeah, definitely. Like some of them I just yeah, it's a good question. So answering is pretty easy for me.
Okay, and you've got a really supportive younger sister. Your sister's really good with everything too.
Yeah, she's really good.
How excited are you about sledge hockey? This is an amazing sport for you to pick up.
Yeah, sledge hockey is pretty good. Hockey's my favorite sport, and for the past 4 or 5 years I've been waiting for something I could do. My sister's in a bunch of sports.
Right.
And she excels at all of them. and I kind of felt left out. So now that we have found a sport that I love to do, well, I'm just really happy. So
that's amazing. Sledge hockey, a great sport, and wonderful people within that organization.
It is. We just have to kind of try to
figure out. It's going to be a more trial and error.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. My whole life is trial and error.
Jonathan, you are remarkable to talk to. You really are a true joy to talk to. You had a great attitude, and hopefully we can bring more awareness. I know the week was last week, but continuing to bring information. I'm going to say EB once again, but the full, say it one more time for me.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
You try.
Epidermolysis Bullosa.
One day we might be able to figure out exactly what it is that is going on.
We will.
Okay.
I'm sure we will.
Well, great attitude. Wonderful young gentleman on our show today, and a very courageous mom as well.